The final word.
No doubt.
All right. You know, I've been getting a lot of people asking about this final word, Law.
Oh,
man.
This was it then.
Yeah, Boss want to get this business. So we got to give it to him.
It's all about that.
Yeah, man.
It's all about that business action, man.
Yeah, so I'm excited because, you know, we didn't talk. I want to kind of hear your thoughts about the game. You know, I know you've been pumping out that good old content.
Man. That's what we do over here at the Nation.
I ain't gonna even lie. Law, you sound like you fighting back some tears.
You already know, man. But as they say, it is what it is.
Man, say, listen.
You already know, man.
Yeah.
I got nothing but love.
Yeah.
I got nothing but love for you, baby.
There it is.
What you know about that?
Nothing but love for you, baby.
Yeah.
I got nothing but love for you, baby.
Come on, Nation.
Come on.
Got nothing but love for you, baby.
Bring him on back.
Boss?
Bring him on back, Law. Bring him on back.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, bring him on. Bring us on back. Bring us on back. Can you hit that one more time,
you
bro?
want me to hit it again?
One more, bro. Let me turn this down.
Nothing but love for you, baby. Got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, baby.
All together now.
Got nothing but love for you, baby.
Dallas Cowboys.
Let me see some blue hearts in the chat, man.
Yes, indeed, bro. Yes, indeed, man.
Yes, indeed.
All right, let me crank this back up. I love it. Yeah. So today we gotta recap it. The playoffs, the final game, and the off season. Cause there's no days off. None.
Can't nobody sing like Eddie Kane though.
Man. Boy, that was nobody can sing like Eddie Kane. And I see y'all coming in the building. My boy Overflowing Marcus said, West Coast and Law was fire. That's what's up, man. Let y'all boys.
Let me get that yoga then. Let me get that yoga one time.
Let me get that yoga in here, bro. Yoga time, bro. Let's go, bro.
Yoga fire.
There it is, man. Put the flames up. Put the flames up. Let's go.
The final word. The final
word.
The final word.
Yeah, man. Pick your head up, Cowboy Nation. Pick your head up. It's hard, but we here. It's hard, but we got to fight. We ain't still gonna stop. It's what it is, man. This is the cost. Are you willing to pay the cost? It's what it is.
The final word.
Yeah. All right, we getting ready to kick it off.
Magical thing that eventually there'll be 31 other teams on the couch with us, though, man.
Oh yeah.
In therapy session.
Yeah.
There's only one team that can win it.
Well, we getting ready to talk about it loud. Let's go. Let's go. Run it up.
Let's go.
Run it up.
Somebody said Law was on 3 streams today.
Run it up.
Yep.
Come on.
It's time to work. Let's go. Run it up.
Run it up.
Lately.
Yes, sir.
Run it up.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Count that too, count up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives.
I
Need
need
them
those
tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside.
What?
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still saving Roman on my change. Take some losses when I play, charge it to the game.
Run it up, run it up.
L, yeah, I'm with T Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay, yeah, I'm with Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now. Still the same, I switch your size, now it's about loyalty.
Fire.
You switch size off for the bag, and that's
Yoga,
what more
fire.
me.
Yoga,
I mix Nike
lane.
with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling
Switch
it.
for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this.
It's nothing
Can't
real
trust
as
a
this.
soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit.
I do. Too legit.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, so the season is over.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you know, I didn't hear from Law. Big is on his way. So, Law, what's your thoughts, bruh? Kind of talk to us, man. We want to kind of hear from you with the season being over, and then we go get down to the business.
Sad but true, man. We all have goals to win in the Super Bowl, but the Cowboys went pretty far in the playoff as it relates to their expectations for what most of the pundits and critics said that we wouldn't even win over 8 games. We wouldn't win over 9 games. And then they moved the goalposts when we won 12 games. And then they say, okay, the Cowboys will not win a single playoff game. They're one and done. And then they said, you know what? Let's continue to move the goalposts because we did things that we were not, I guess, according to critics, were able to do. Now, we went into this game, 0 excuses, though, by the way. We went into this game with high hopes of winning, but unfortunately, there was a big L cast upon us in this particular game by basically us shooting ourselves in the foot. We were not prepared. I tell people all the time, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have the opportunity and not be prepared. And the Cowboys were not prepared for this game.
Yeah.
Sir.
And we got us a super chat real quick. My boy B Bird say, shout out to Law. He say, Law is the hardest working man on all YouTube. Yep, no lie. Run it up.
Run it
No
up,
doubt.
run it up.
Yeah, run it up. That is
No
no
doubt,
lie.
baby.
All right, and then we got us another super chat. He said, thanks to each and every one of you fellas. Enjoyed the content all season, all the work you put in, and insight. I watch the game on mute now and listen to our content creators. Much love, respect, blessings. OC Law, Big Game James, and Boss. Man, I appreciate that, big dog. We really appreciate that, homie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, OC, obviously, man, we want to hear from you, bro. Like, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, overall, this was a good year for the Cowboys. The Cowboys did take several steps in the right direction. And, you know, to Law's point, nobody expected us to have a favorable record when we had Dak Prescott miss 5 games. That was the telltale of the grit, the talent, and also the determination of this team. So, you know, great things ahead, hopefully. We got a lot of content about that tonight. But, you know, at a glance, that's my thoughts, man.
Yeah, man. So, obviously, one of the pressing things that me and the OC talked about was Dak. So we want to kind of go right into it, like right into
Start
it.
early, boss.
Matter of
Start
fact,
early.
nah, let's wait till Big get here because Big is on his way. We'll just pause
All
Dak.
right.
We'll go first
Okay.
to Zeke. All right. Because we got a lot
All right.
we can talk about. Let's start with Zeke. So obviously it's been put out there that Zeke is potentially, you know, willing to take a pay cut. Law, you got some insight on that. I want to definitely hear about this insight.
Yes, and I quote from West Coast as it relates that he quoted. So it's a quote of a quote, right? From Ezekiel Elliott from West Coast that Zeke Camp never talked about being a person that would be willing to take a price cut or a paycheck cut. So that should be something entertaining for us to see during this off season. Is Ezekiel Elliott warranted to taking a particular price cut because, or pay cut, I meant to say, that's a better way to say it, due to the stats or his outcome of this game or the season? I don't know. Now we look at his contract. We know that his cap hit is $16 million. We do know that if they chooses to select to cut Zeke, it's still going to be a dead cap hit of $11.5 $1.2 million or something along that way. So I don't know if any of those things will happen. I think that Ezekiel Elliott still had north of 10 plus touchdowns this season. I think that he was very, very good starting off until he got that knee injury in that Detroit's game. So it's hard to really judge Ezekiel Elliott on whether or not he's, according to most people, washed or not. So I just got to say this, man. This will be an interesting offseason, what the Cowboys planning on doing with Ezekiel Elijah Elliott.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on it, OC? Especially with the
Yeah,
news
man, I
of what
think
West
that,
Coast said.
yeah, I mean, in light of the alleged quote, at the end of the day, I think that Ezekiel Elliott is still a very, very productive and good running back. And at the end of the day, he has to get enough carries to accumulate yardage. He's not gonna give you a bunch of explosive plays at this point in his career, but he's still one of the best finishers in the game. Obviously, having 10 plus touchdowns, having a nose for first downs and touchdowns. There's always a place for a guy like that in the NFL, whether it would be with the Cowboys or not. It could be fake news, obviously, coming out so that they can gain some leverage in the negotiation, putting it out there ahead of time that they want to reduce his cap number and the amount of money they're paying him. So we'll see how this plays out. This is typical Cowboy fodder, and this is typical Cowboy open air media negotiation, however this information got leaked.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be honest. Based on what West Coast said, if what he said is true, that's bad. That mean they, to me, gearing up for war. Listen, y'all, because that's about salting his name. He said he want a pay cut. He not working with us.
Right now,
Yeah.
It's gearing up. It's already gearing up. It's getting ready to be tough. And see, he an easy target too, because a lot of people already felt like he was overpaid. So it lets you know that the business of football has officially started early. Yeah.
And shout out to Daisy for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Daisy. We appreciate your support of all of our channels, man, and the content. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for a great season. Keep up the great work. Love you guys. Love you too, Daisy. We appreciate you. Thank you.
I got some film over here too, man. We can get into some of this film.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We can get into some of this film.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
The OC.
The film breakdown.
Alright, this is very, very, very raw. Alright. So it ain't no prep on this. So I just want to look at Elliott runs, alright, or Elliott activity. So here we go. This is Elliott final game or potential final game. We'll put it like that. And all of us can go back and forth. If you got something, obviously we want you
no
to
doubt.
put. All right, here we go.
Yeah, this is 11 personnel, by the way. You got one tight end. This is actually 2022. All right, so you got two tight ends. You got I formation here with the lead back in the backfield. The unusual formation that the Cowboys typically don't run. But go ahead, let's do it. We got a lead up. Here we go. Boom. And I mean, Dak is doing what he can there. That's a 1 or 2 yard run. Linebackers are filling. You don't get much push. You don't get a tremendous kick out by the fullback. And you got 57 lines to the ball, and people getting off blocks, and it's not a lot there. Okay, here we go. We got split backs on this formation. All right, and then this is a pass, and this is Dak Prescott throwing the interception.
Oh, that was the
when
wrong.
he had the.
That was the
Yeah,
wrong.
he had the wheel route there.
No, that's
okay.
fault.
He had the
That
wheel
was-
route there with Ezekiel Elliott. That's all right.
Yeah, they had Elliott name highlighted. I should have read it first. Here we go. I read it this time.
All
Here
right.
we go.
Damn good play by the DB though.
Yeah, we go talk about that
Oh,
play.
it was
I got something on
opposed
that
team.
play. We go talk about that.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, here you go. And then again, this is 22 personnel, and that's a good inside run. That's zone right. You got two tight ends. You got everybody. Everybody is notice. Everybody is stepping to the right. All right. You got double teams and meshes inside. You got a good job. You got good push, and Elliott gets up in the hole, gets what he can. That's very, very
Did he
good.
pick the
Okay,
wrong hole
on
on
this
that one
particular,
though? Did he pick the
no,
wrong
not in
hole on
my
the other one?
opinion. Um, not in my opinion, because he hit it up right between the center and guards who had the mesh double team, and that was
Mhm.
really the best place to go because he's not gonna bounce it outside and beat people. And this, I don't like this inverted dive handoff. This is a dumb play. I don't like the execution of it. And Ezekiel Elliott got a bad knee, man. You're making him jump cut as soon as he gets the football. I don't like that play. It should just be a straight lead dive. If you go give him the football in that situation, make a straight lead dive. Don't make him invert come across the quarterback to get that ball. All right, so that's a missed block inside. And I don't know if you rewind that, Boss Cowboy, but that was a missed block inside. Who let the free man come and all that. So
Yeah, I can rewind
all right.
it. I just rewinded it. Let me fast forward.
Okay, this inverted dive here is really dumb because that's what happened. You get quick penetration with Armstead and it blows up the play. It's dumb. You can line him up on the side that he's getting the football and just let him hit it there, and he probably would have got it, but that just really is not wise in my opinion. Okay, here we go. So you got walk-up linebacker. So you have T. Smith, Tyron Smith in no man's land. Tyron Smith should have stepped down and got this linebacker. All right, he should have got right there. Come on, T. You uncovered, T. Yeah, he's uncovered and he's sliding out. You can't slide out when a guy's walked up in your gap. You got to stand pat right there and pick up that blitzing linebacker. So that's a missed block by Tyron Smith.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Let me go back because I was looking at Zeke. All right, so let's pull up some more Zeke, and so then we can kind of talk about him just a little bit more. I'm just looking at all the plays that was going at Zeke.
Yep. That's fine. He's open because they're sinking in coverage on cover 2, and that's a good play right there by Zeke. He got hit out of bounds on that play. He's flared out. He's the safety valve in this play. So you see the wheel route, right? And Tyler Smith is getting pushed back with the bull rush, and a really good play dump off. And I think we should have done more of this, actually. This would have helped us in this game because we had the flats open most of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, that was pretty much it. The thing is, my gut feeling telling me this is the end of Zeke. It's over with. Now, Zeke could come back. He could come back, but the way that they already came out the day after the loss talking about Zeke, somebody close to Zeke said that he willing to take a pay cut, they aiming for Zeke. And see, anybody to me that been paying attention to how our organization moves, they already knew that they was going to start phasing him out. They knew that from the beginning of the year. His treatment was similar to Amari, where you could tell they was phasing him out. And I think he started knowing they was phasing him out. I think Zeke is a man. I think he's raised by a man. And I think Zeke will take his bag and walk. So I want to ask a question, Lau, real quick. Lau, are we giving up on Zeke a little bit too fast? Could it be that he had bad luck with that knee?
Well, a lot of times when you look at a running back and you got $90 million, that's the first thing that they're going to look at is the money, right?
Facts.
And then you look at other running backs and their productions. Now, running backs' average lifespan is 3 years. And when you are an elite running back, you can probably add on 2+ more years to that, or maybe 3 and strongly, and that's 6 or 7 years. So he's right at the peak of that. I remember Larry Johnson back in the days. He was that running back that everybody marveled at, but we know that the weight and the bulk of the carries, he dissipated every year, or diminished rates of returns inclined or increased. So now you're looking at Zeke. His contract is all the way through the year of 27, something along that way. So the Cowboys got to pay Tony Pollard, and they have reservations on the fact that Ezekiel Elliott may have lost a step here and there, and especially a PCL injury last season. And now you had a knee injury, a knee contusion this year, and he didn't look as relates to an explosive running back like he looked and what they thought that they was going to get. So rightfully so, from a financial aspect, they may say, yeah, we can't pay Tony because of you, Zeke. So we're going to have to ask you, are you willing to take a pay cut? And the best way to do this is get in front of it via the media and be like, okay, let the people decide. And they already know that the nation, they temper check this, and the nation is already a third of the nation saying, get rid of him. He's washed, he's trash. And especially coming off of a loss and looking at what he looked like in his playoff game, averaging 1 point or 2 point yards per tote, that's not enough. And I know this for sure. Rocky Arsenal, Zeke's agent, agent, he don't want his client out there with negative connotations like this. Remember, he was the guy that spoke up and said, oh, how dare you sully my client's name by having t-shirts that saying Zeke who when Tony first arrived. So until you hear from his agent that he's seeking a pay cut to stay with the team, I think that's all falsehoods because they're trying to get in front of this story.
So one more question, since we're talking about running back. What about Tony Pollard? Because now that's even more interesting with the recent surgery, right? So what's y'all thoughts on Tony Pollard? Because I was listening to the Fan today and they was like, we need to move on. I was like, whoa, is it that bad? Or what? And I have to ask this question because I really don't know. What is the history on running backs with ankles? Do they come back the same? Do they come back different? Because I would say this, and I'm starting to trust the Dallas Cowboys medical team. I will say that in terms of their ability to work miracles. Because OC, remember you had your opinion on Gallup, and I respect it, but he did finish the season, which most of us said he wouldn't even be back by November. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, what does that do with Pollard?
Well, Pollard broke, he has a high ankle sprain, and he broke his tib or
fibula?
Fibula.
Tib.
Yeah. So if you break your tib, look, that's the small bone, right? That's below your knee. Okay, and I had a tib fracture. Okay, and so you can come back from that. Boss, I'm okay.
No, the Wi-Fi.
Everybody's saying that it's his fibula.
Yeah, come back, OC. Come right
back.
It's
his fibula. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
OC, come right back. We want to hear from you on this. All right, because OC, he does a lot of medical and consulting, so I want to kind of hear this. But yeah, man.
But boss, man, when you think about it, remember last year we did the mock draft and we had Breece Hall sitting right there.
Did. They were laughing at us.
I mean, shoot.
Remember they were laughing at us. And see, and this is what we said last year, because I remember why we did that mock draft. We said we need to go target Hall because we got two backs that's potential free agents, and we need to get in front of it. That's exactly what we said, and that's when we start playing with the draft.
You with the notion that you can probably put Pollard on a trading situation so you can get something back in return for him, because we don't do that. Now, granted, I'm not shanking Pollard with the butter knife, y'all, but we were just talking business.
We was looking ahead. Yeah, we were just looking ahead.
Yeah.
We saw this day coming, you know what I'm saying? And we was trying to address it before it got here. But go ahead, OC.
Go ahead.
So if it was a fibula, then is the Wi-Fi monster getting it again?
One more time, bro.
Can you hear me, Paul?
One more time.
Okay, wait a second. I may be okay.
You okay? Go.
Am I okay?
You okay?
Am I okay?
You okay now?
Hit that boy one more time.
Scared him away.
Go ahead, OC.
All right.
So,
if you're thinking about all right, I'm gonna try one more time, man.
Oh Lord,
man.
Well, at least he got pearly white teeth, man. You know he got a good dentist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But there. That boy
got some
always
nice
get that
teeth,
boy.
man.
God damn,
Yes,
man.
indeed. But man, you got Robinson, you got the Gibbs kids, you got now in this draft, you got some guys, man. What's that dude in Tank? Shoot from Auburn. You got boys, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got the dude from the Texas A&M. You got a lot of people, man. That Miller kid from TCU. So you got running backs now that you can look in this draft. One of them can fall your way. Man. Go ahead, OC.
No, the only thing I'm gonna say real quick, hopefully I don't freeze out again, is that the field is more weight bearing. Depending on the location of that fracture, we don't know what it can be in terms of, I think he'll make a full on that one, just to be honest with you. So I don't think that's a big issue. A high ankle sprain, I know I had tore ligaments off of my ankle and I had to get screws. So if it's a surgery to where they got to insert screws to make his ligament grow back up together, then I think that's a greater issue because it's a slower recovery time. And I can speak from personal experience on my side, slower recovery time for me, and it took a while before I felt comfortable putting weight on that leg, and it took months and months, like 4 or 5 months, So that means that we'll work him out, and that means that you go try to see how he is real close to the draft. So that's the deal, man. I think that at the end of the day, a weakness for the Cowboys is that position. You got to get younger, more speed and depth. So it doesn't matter ultimately do with these guys. You got to add at least another good running back in that room.
I got one word for the whole offseason. One. Weapons.
Yeah.
Weapons. That's my word for the offseason. We need weapons everywhere, and we need to be open for weapons. So I'm gonna throw out something real quick, and then we're gonna start talking about that. I am for re-signing T.Y. Hilton and Odell Beckham. And this is why.
I'll give you one. 30 club, baby. Go ahead.
Clap it up. And see, listen.
Clap it up for him.
Listen, I know the better prospect is Hopkins. But we know who we dealing with. We dealing with Stephen Jones. And if you look at the Marshals have been for the most part decent. Y'all faces so funny. But listen, of course I want better. But you know that boy Stephen Jones ain't finna spend nothing.
Oh, hell no.
So our best chance at even trying to have a dog is to try to have a Marshall's dog. Because currently what we have right now in the receiver room, now, so also, and that would be adding that to Gallup. Now, Gallup, a year off that ACL, I feel good about that.
Yeah.
I feel good. You know what I'm saying about that. I clap that up. Because it took a lot of courage for what Gallup did. You know what I'm saying?
It did.
It took a lot of courage to what he did. But if we added Marshall's free agents with Gallup, with CeeDee Lamb, I would feel okay about that.
Man, every year it's going to be another new James Washington. It's going to be somebody else, man. Maybe it's going to be Simi Fehoko. Yep. Maybe it's going to be, God, somebody, Brandon
Dennis
Smith.
Houston.
I don't know. Dennis Houston 2.0 again. Dennis all over again. Dennis the Menace. So you give it what you pay for. The Cowboys have a prime optimum chance to say, okay, F these picks, man, let me go get a DK Metcalf, right? And it depends on, believe it or not, what the Eagles do. If the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, then they say, hey, didn't they put weapons all around their quarterback?
Yep.
Didn't they believe in their quarterback, right?
Yep.
By saying that, okay, there's two different type of outcomes that could happen. They could have took weapons away and say, hey, let's see if Jalen Hurts can do it by himself. Or they added to him and said, okay, with weapons around him, let's see what he can do. And the Cowboys' philosophy been, hey, let's see if Dak Prescott can do it without weapons.
Right.
Let's see if he's really the truth. You know what I'm saying? So those are two ways you can approach this game. I'm with the belief. Put weapons around him.
Yes.
Put more and more weapons around him.
Yes.
Go spend the money.
Yes. Oh.
3, 2, 1, drum it. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
Drop it hard.
Let's go.
Go spend the money is what Law said.
Yep.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, the only way, and now I'm fast forwarding into some stuff I was going to say, but we starting to talk about Dak, so it's cool. The only way, and here's one of the questions put for our Dak conversation, Boss and Law. Does the Cowboys have the weapons to be a top team? The weapons.
Do they have
And now,
do they have a what?
the weapon. Do they have the weapons to be a top team? Because at the end of the day, 17 from each conference make the playoffs. Did the Wi-Fi get me?
Yeah, it's getting you.
It's getting you, man. Like you're
I'll
underwater.
be right back.
Hey, just reset the router and come back. You know, reset it. But you know what I'm saying, Boss Cowboy, when I say that, you know. I look at this team. Me and West Coast was talking about this. When did Josh Allen start to look like Josh Allen? When they went and got Stephon Diggs, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know, they went and got Stephon Diggs. Oh, this year, how many playoff Josh Allen got? How many Dak Prescott got? One. One. So the expectations is if Josh Allen is elite, then how come he couldn't do it with Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis? Isn't Gabriel better than our second option, right? Isn't that offense? They went and drafted a running back to help solidify their running team, right? Their team over there. They went and got a James Cook, right, to help them out. Did it work for them? No. So what people do is they look at this team from a vacuum and they really think that, hey, the Cowboys supposed to, with Noah Brown, right, primarily being our number 2 wide receiver, and my guy Michael Gallup coming back from ACL recovery, that would have been enough weapons to be sufficient. What in actuality it wasn't. T.Y. Hilton, at the age of 33, now I'm not dogging the man, but he should have been here week 1. But I know, different circumstances for different teams. But go ahead, fam.
So check this out. I'm getting ready to get messy, bro, because I'm sick of this.
Get messy.
My boy.
And before you get messy, let me finish what I was going to say, if you don't mind, Boss.
Go ahead. You sound good now.
Yeah, so just real quick, Boss Cowboy. The thing about Dak Prescott, the only way Dak gonna make it in his offense and gonna be successful to where we can be at least have a chance to get to the Super Bowl, which means that we get to the NFC Championship, is that you gotta weaponize Dak. You gotta fully commit to weaponizing Dak. In the same way that the Eagles have tried to weaponize Jalen Hurts, the same way the Chiefs do year in and year out, the exact same way that quietly on the low key the Bengals have done, right? And then San Francisco does. Those are your final 4 teams. It's 7 teams that comes out of every single conference, the AFC and the NFC. That's 14 teams that makes the playoffs out of 32. And your goal is not to get there. Your goal is to get a championship. So you got to figure out how you can be a top 4 team, how you can put a team together that's at least a top 4, top 5 team. And right now we close, but we ain't there yet.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this, man. I really mean this. Separation, to me, was one of the biggest differences in the big game. Having another option besides CD Lamb. Just keeping it real. We need more options. And it wasn't right. I'm being all the way. It wasn't right to even put all that weight on Michael Gallup coming off ACL. That was crazy. And yeah, he went out there and tried to do what he was trying to do on the ACL, but come on, man. Most people come all the way back after about 2 years off that, which would be going into this season. This is when we should be able to expect the better Michael Gallup. But it was disservice to not put more around Dak. It was. And they know it. They know it. That's why they spent all year talking and courting and kissing on other receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't be kissing it, smooching on other receivers, but then act like that ain't our top need this offseason. Right? Cause you done spent all, you courted and you begged and you was smooching on Odell Beckham in the public. You was at the Mavericks game with him. So don't act like right now weapons don't matter. Don't do that. Not after begging. It don't make sense. Just keeping it real.
It don't make sense. Yeah.
And all right, but this is one of the things I want to go to when I said I want to be messy. They say Sir Lord say Josh Allen chokes just like 4, same player.
Cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck.
See, cause listen, man. Listen, I like Joe
Excuses.
Burrow.
What were their excuses?
Oh man, I like Joe Burrow, but it is a major advantage to play with Higgins and Chase.
Yeah, those boys are nice.
Joe
Mixon too.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon too.
Yeah. So like, I don't know why people act like weapons don't matter. They greatly matter. So I want to get into Dak real quick because that's what everybody kind of on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to kind of start it off with Mike McCarthy. All right. Because a lot of people don't really kind of understand this, so I'm going to play this. I got the links in the description, and then we go kind of walk this through, all right? So y'all just listen. This is after Green Bay, so just listen to Mike McCarthy. We go break this down. Listen.
See an interception, like, oh, it's the quarterback's fault.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. But, like, how often, do quarterback and receivers see the coverage differently, and how common is that?
That's great.
Good question. On the options routes, how often do they see it differently?
Great question. I mean, that's a question of the year. I'd get some applause there. No, that was excellent. No, that's exactly that's the challenge of the route, and that's why. And if you go back through the history of offensive systems in the NFL, you have your two main ones that have been in this league for decades. You had the West Coast offense versus the digit system, and the West Coast offense, you never ran option routes. You never ever took the decision making out of the quarterback's hands. Everything was dictated on the quarterback knowing exactly where the route was going to break. The precision and timing of the route running and the quarterback's footwork were going to be better than any coverage. And then you got the digit system, which has a more vertical component to it, but also had the option routes in it. So, I think today's game, you see most offenses are more scheme driven. They're more play driven. That's just the way this league's gone. But
I hate that part. Because he talking about what the league done turned into. That is more scheme driven versus athlete driven. But the key thing, because to me, everybody, in my opinion, think it's a coincidence that Dak all of a sudden had all these picks out of nowhere.
Right.
It didn't happen out of nowhere. I'm certain that this Dak that was created is a product of Kellen Moore's system. That doesn't mean he don't need to play good within the system. But the system is teaching, and it keeps saying over and over and over. This system says over and over and over that you have to throw it with anticipation. You got to throw it even before they come out their breaks.
Yep.
So when you got a system like that, it's go ahead, Law. Mm-hmm.
No. I was gonna say, because in the West Coast system, the same play, like on 2nd and 2, right, shotgun. Instead of CeeDee Lamb running a curl and then he got an option to continue to go left or right, it would have been a simple drag. 1, 2, 3, yeah, ball out. You see what I'm saying? You go shotgun, it would have been a shallow drag across the middle. You would have got the 2 yards or what have you. It wouldn't have been time for CeeDee Lamb to go into a soft spot in the zone to go option. And we used to see option routes with this team with Jason Garrett. It used to be the tight end was the only one that ran it.
Right.
And they called the Y option. And my guy, Jason Witten was phenomenal with that, the Y option route. And what Kellen Moore did with a brilliant scheme is that, a brilliant system, because I don't think it's a scheme. He said, well, why not have multiple Jason Wittens? Why not have the wide receiver, the X, the Y, and the Z?
Right.
Why don't they all have options?
Facts.
Don't you know how complicated that is?
Right.
People that don't understand football will be like, nah, man, hey, because they look at it as Madden. John Madden. But no, you only supposed to have your tight end. But why? Let me tell y'all something. I know my guy, the OC, can fill me in on this. Why is it such an important way for a tight end to have an option route? Why? Here's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen. Their average tight end is 6'4", 6'5". So he can play with leverage. When he's on a smaller body like a safety, he can sit down on him and he can say, okay, now I'm going to split out wide. Or when he's on a bigger person like a linebacker, he can curl back in because linebackers naturally have issues flipping their hips. So that's why Jason Witten, as boxy as he was, he still used his height, his size, his subtle speed to find that option in a spot and be on the same page with the quarterback to get that open space because he knew how to use his size as a leverage. But now you're talking about smaller wide receivers like a CeeDee Lamb that they get in a soft area with a DB or a linebacker. That option may not work for him as fluently as it would with Jason Witten. But go ahead, OC. Can you break that down for people?
Yeah, man. I mean, so really the key is that if you have a tight end option, is that you're really trying to see how far the linebackers drop. And if they're going to cover deep up the middle of the field like Fred Warner did in a Tampa or a cover 2 scheme, traditional deep cover 2 scheme, and if they're trying to disguise man with zone or zone with man. And if your tight end has an option, then he is basically the automatic safety outlet for your quarterback in the event that the defense that we thought is not exactly what we thought, and we had a blitz that we didn't see, or we had a receiver not win on a route. Then you're my guy, Mr. Tight End, so that we can keep moving the chains. And Jason Witten did a fantastic job of that his whole career for the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, Big, we got you in the house, man. We talking about Dak, and we talking about, obviously, the interceptions and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to get your opinion on this.
I want to listen to y'all a little more before I have an opinion.
Okay.
Let me dig further into this, because one of the questions that I had, Boss Cowboy, I had about 5 key questions about Dak Prescott that I explored and studied today in light of us coming on this show and talking about this, okay? So the very first question I had, we know how many interceptions Dak threw. If you don't know, he led the league. He threw 15 in 11 games, okay? That led the league. He tied with Josh Allen in the amount of interceptions he threw. That's just the data, okay? How many of those interceptions were legitimately on Dak Prescott? If you look at and I've looked at all his interceptions about 5 times today, and on my synopsis of the situation, you were right, Boss Cowboy, that about 2 to 3 of those picks, 2 in particular in Green Bay, those were not on Dak per se. They're on Dak because he threw them. I'm not making an excuse, okay, for those to say that. I'm saying a reason why maybe, there was a miscommunication to where that's not strictly Dak, but he threw the picks, okay? You had one where Michael Gallup slipped, on a out route that ended up being a pick. And that was clearly Michael Gallup falling down. That was a pick. You had another one in the Texans when we were back into the goal line where Schultz did not continue on an in route. He stopped in a hole, and Dak you could clearly see he anticipated him coming across. So that one, I would say, is definitely a miscommunication between him and Schultz. And then you had 2 with Noah Brown. You had one that popped off his chest versus the Texans on a quick slant route that got picked. You had another one that popped off his chest that was a game winner versus the Jags. Okay, so if you take all these interceptions, you have a total of about 7 to 8 questionable interceptions that may or may not be Dak Prescott's fault. So if you subtract that and you look at him in light of that, and I'll give him, let's say 5 of those were not his fault. Now you got a guy that threw 23 touchdowns versus 10 picks. All right. Now, here's the issue with that. How does Dak compare with the rest of the top 10 quarterbacks? That's the question. How does Dak compare? Because everybody slams Dak. How does he compare? Well, if you look at his completion ratio this year, okay, and that's this year, Dak would be in the middle of the road in terms of quarterback play this year. And I'm not saying all time on his career, but this year, Dak is right in the middle of the pack. And I can go through them if you guys want. I don't want to hog the mic right now. I'll come back to some of this data because I got a whole lot. But that's kind of where Dak is, man. And so the greater question to me is that, does Dak Prescott play in the system that is amicable to his talents? Because there was a big difference between 2016, 2017, and the offense Dak Prescott ran the last couple of years. And he was really doing his best play out of a pro-style, play-action pass type offense. When we started to get to the hitch routes and things of that nature, he had some good years, but it takes a myriad of factors and about 5 or 6 guys that have an extremely high IQ. And no offense, not saying the wide receivers don't have high IQs, but I'm saying an abnormally high IQ to read the defense running full speed into coverages and be right all the time and be thinking the exact same thing that your quarterback is thinking. That's very, very difficult. So Dak has to own the interceptions. The play calling also has to be better. I got a lot more. I'm going to stop right there and shoot it over to you guys for now.
Well, I feel like they messed up Dak. They messed them up with the option route system, because this is the big thing that nobody talking about. When Dak was not throwing interceptions, this is what he said: "I will throw it to you when you open." Do y'all remember that? Yep. That is showing you a different thought. That is clearly saying you had to win the route for him to target you. This new Dak is under a whole different philosophy. It's totally different. If you listen to what they doing now with Dak, just listen to Mike McCarthy.
That's the challenge of the route. And
hold on real quick.
The history of offense.
Differently, and how common is that?
That's a great question. That's a question of the year. I get some applause there. No, that was excellent. No, that's exactly that's the challenge of the route, and that's why. And if you go back through the history of offensive systems in the NFL, you have your two main ones that have been in this league for decades. You had the West Coast offense versus the digit system, and the West Coast offense, you never ran option routes. You never ever took the decision making out of the quarterback's hands. Everything was dictated on the quarterback, knowing exactly where the route was going to break. The precision and timing of the route running and the quarterback's footwork were going to be better than any coverage. And then you got the digit system, which.
And see, that's what Dak needs to be under. He needs to be under offense where it's all on him and not partially on him and then partially on the other weapons. That's the problem. Because he said himself, if you listen to Dak.
What were they doing during the first 58? I mean, Mike and Jerry said
this is him versus the Texans. Listen.
They were showing you coverage and doing things they hadn't done before, Joe hadn't seen before. And Mike said that it's something other teams may copy.
He said they were showing them coverages that they haven't seen before. It gave them problems, and other people might do it. Listen.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of. We know that they had a decent disguise and coming into the game, but however, they're going to get to a couple of coverages. I feel like they added a couple of more tonight. And just, when you do that and against and you haven't shown that on film.
See, he telling you how to beat them. When you show them looks you ain't seen on film, it's going to give that offense problems. Because the offense is based on adapting to what the defense showed them. So if you show them different looks, you can create confusion at the right time, and all you need is one mistake.
gives you a heads up there. So whether it be the play calling that.
So he said the play calling can give you the problems.
Maybe wasn't the best at the time. My reads were half.
So he said it could also be my reads.
A bit slower because they disguised it well and got to some that they haven't been in. But for us, it's about understanding that we may get that more, as Coach said, and just understanding that we've got to execute. Or sometimes I gotta
see that part right there is BS. Cause see that don't make no sense. See that's what Dak be protecting his guys. Cause it don't make sense. If he told you the way to beat us, cause he clearly said the way that you beat us is you show us looks we haven't seen before, and it can make me hesitate because it's a different look.
Yeah,
he clearly said it.
All right. Can I jump in though?
Yeah.
I want to jump in now.
Go ahead.
I feel like I'm gonna have to challenge you, boss. I'm gonna have to challenge you on this, and I feel like, and I love you, dog, but I just feel like you give Dak too much of a pass. I don't never really hear you say, what about this game though? Because here's my thinking. I need to see him in another system then, because you're saying it's the system, correct?
A system, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So is that why you're saying that's why he didn't win this game?
Definitely. Yeah.
Because of the system.
Yeah. The system
It wasn't just because he played bad.
It's also that. I said that.
But here's the thing. Are they going to get rid of Kellen Moore?
I hope so.
So if he plays the same type of way in a different system, what would you say then?
Oh, then it'll be on Dak.
Okay. Because that's where I'm at right now.
Okay, and I understand that.
Right now, the way I feel like I get what you're saying I understand what you're saying about the short routes, how it's changed that, right? It's feel like they try to put him more of a passing type guy. But is he really that dual threat guy? I've seen him running now, but it's more. I just need to see more big moments.
Yeah.
I need to see more moments when the lights are bright, even when things are bad, you overcome. Because I'm missing that when it's big in his big games. And then it's always something else. You got to step up, even though it was bad. You got to make them plays. You got to see those type of things in those type of situations. Even, I get it. You dealing with a play caller that's not the greatest. I want the divorce. I made a video. I want the divorce because I want to see him in a system that's going to cater to his needs, so I can see if what people are telling me, like you, we'll be able to see a different Dak, and he'll be able to overcome and show us a different thing, because I don't believe that. Not right now.
Yeah.
And let me say something though, Big. Just a fair balance. I understand exactly where you're coming from, because I agree with you. We lost because Dak played bad. I'm not bad versus San Francisco. I'm not saying nothing about the system in this game, because those two picks are on him 2,000%, and I got proof. Because when I look, and I challenge everyone on this panel, go back and look at all of Dak Prescott's interceptions as I have, and I'm gonna give you two key examples on just errors in Dak Prescott's game that he has to address. He threw an interception, and this was involving Michael Gallup in the Giants game, and it was an out route toward the sideline. He underthrew the football, right? And he almost threw another one the same game. So he has errors when he's trying to drive the ball out to the sideline. And I don't know why it's a Michael Gallup thing. It happened in this situation versus San Francisco. He threw a pick then. It was a similar pick. Not a slightly different route, but similar pick. Most of Dak's interceptions that are legitimately his interceptions, if you go back and look at it, it was because of one or two things outside of driving the ball to the sideline, underthrowing it. It was one, because he tried to force the ball unwisely into double coverage. And he should not have. He should have ate it or ran it. He should have took a sack rather than throw a pick. Number two, he lost sight of a defender in zone coverage that jumped the ball and made a play on the ball. Those are the two cardinal sins of Dak Prescott in terms of when he's throwing interceptions, in terms of his execution, because he's late getting those balls out going to the sideline, and he's forcing balls he should not force or not seeing defenders in the middle of the field. That was the result of most of Dak Prescott's interceptions. So those are two flaws in his game that he has to correct. So I don't give him a pass at all, especially as it relates. We can talk about other stuff, but as it relates to those picks and what he did in San Fran, now the play calling could have been better, 2,000%. Should we have made adjustments? 2,000%. That's on Kellen Moore. But the plays that were called and the execution thereof, those picks are on Dak Prescott.
So I disagree that the picks is on Dak Prescott. So I'm gonna give you a counter argument. This came from the QB school. All right. So in the QB school,
I heard it too.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so you're not going to throw with anticipation outside the numbers then, but that's a big hookup. 3rd and 9, interception at the top. Same hinge type of route. This time, Gallup just decides he's going to stop playing.
What did he say?
To me, this is sabotage. Hey, there's no sugarcoating this. I don't,
He stared down that route. Look at him. He's damn near stared down that route, though, boss.
Okay.
The ball
he stared down that route.
The ball is late.
The ball was late, but he stared down that man.
Okay.
Yes, and
that's why he was able to jump that route.
Okay. I see it totally different than y'all. I feel like it's what he said.
If he stared him down though, but also is that what position he's playing? Is he playing press or zone?
I get where Michael Gallup gave up on that route. You can see obviously he ran a lazy route.
He did.
You should have fought. He basically opened it and let the defender be able to come in. You're not allowed to let that defender come on the inside of you and be able to squeeze you like that. But at the end of the day, Dak was still staring him down.
Well,
did he not have Ezekiel Elliott in the flat?
But two wrongs don't make a right there. Right?
How's it making a wrong and a right? Did he have Ezekiel Elliott in the flat?
Yeah, he had another
so
option.
Throw with anticipation outside
well, my thing is this: I'm presenting a counter argument because to me,
it's 3rd and 9. Go ahead.
Because see, this is the other side. This is the other side. Thank you. And it's 3rd and 9. This is the other side to it too. We also know that outside of CD Lamb, Dak has the worst separation out of almost all quarterbacks. Is that true or false?
That's true.
That's true.
All right, so what do you got to do with receivers that's not getting separation?
You gotta take care of the football, and in certain situations, you can try to force it, right?
If it's 3rd and 9,
have we not seen Dak dump off? Hold up, boss. Have we not seen Dak dump that off on a 3rd and 9?
Yeah, I've seen him.
Okay,
I've seen.
So that's, to me, you should have did that route then, right? Instead of forcing that ball, right?
Or he could have threw the ball to the spot to where Gallup could have made the play. Gallup should have shielded off the cornerback like he trained to do and went to the chains where the throw was.
So you don't think Dak saw that man?
Of course he saw the man, but he also trusted this guy to make a play and be where he's supposed to be.
If he saw that man, he should not try to be okay. But he shouldn't have to trust his man. If he sees his man running that route and he's staring that man down, and that he sees that defender right there, and he can look right there and see Ezekiel Elliott. He knows Ezekiel Elliott's in that flat. He could have dumped that off. Ezekiel Elliott could have made a play. There was only a one defender right there. Am I not correct?
If you're the wide receiver coach, what you saying to the wide receiver after that play, James? What you saying to the wide receiver?
Why'd you do that?
Get him next time.
Right. You ain't saying that.
You can't leave. Yeah.
You said you should have battled back to the ball because Dak was trusting you to beat her.
At the time.
That's the same hinge
type of.
Listen.
That part.
That's not sabotage.
Hold on, listen.
This time, Gallup just decides he's going to stop playing. Now, to me, this is sabotage. Hey, there's no sugarcoating this.
Not to me.
They can say, Dak can say, I got to be better.
I did see him look off James. James, he not staring him down either. His first look is to the right, then he looked to the left. He actually looked him off first. Okay, that's the first thing he did. I'm gonna show you. It's right here. Look.
He did look off, James. He looked off on that.
Same hinge type of route. This time, Gallup just decides he's going to stop playing. Now, to me, this is sabotage. Hey, there's no sugarcoating this. I don't, they can say, Dak can say, I
He to the right. Now he go to the left.
Better. I got to do all this stuff.
And he's staring at it. You didn't have to do that, though.
But that's a quit, in my opinion.
You still had Zeke right there.
Says it's a quit. So first up
You
here,
didn't
let's
have
quickly.
to. That's my point, boss. I see what you're saying, but do you not see what I'm saying? You didn't have to do that, right?
See, but you got multiple options on every scenario. And sometimes you're going to have two people that's open. So if you throw it to Zeke, hopefully he can make a tackle to get you the first down. Or you can throw it to the sticks, which that's what Dak did. He threw it to the sticks, and that's what Gallup wasn't at the sticks. The DB beat him to the ball.
Pass pro.
Hold on, let me listen.
What are they doing here? This is 7-person
And
protection.
he has some
quick
pressure in his
snapping
face, correct?
So the center's
Yeah, a
coming
little
up,
bit of
putting his
pressure
hand on the
too.
ball
Yeah.
and snapping it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. It muddies the look for the 49ers. They can't pin their ears back. I love it. When I'm talking about quit on the route, I'm talking about what I'm going to call a hinge, a vertical stem, open inside, and fall out. Okay, now the details at the top of this route can vary on what system you're in, what the rules are for you, whatever. You can usually come down the stem, which is to me a little bit more 9-stoppy, or hinge out like a door. Or you can turn out and come back, and that's more comebacky. Okay, so those are the type of kind of exit strategies at the top going out. For me here, at the top of this route, whether he's grabbed or whatever, he needs to keep coming back. And in a perfect world, like a wide receiver clinic, this is the time of year, right? Back, you open up inside, you don't get it, you come back to the quarterback on this angle. There's no way that you should be able to get this guy coming down like this when he's over the top, because it's open early. Again, I don't think he's necessarily looking here at the top of the route. It looks like he's working over the ball. But to me, what the wide receiver is doing at the top, he's falling out flat. You have to keep coming down. It's not quite as clean as, like, I'm not saying it's as easy as a stop, because it really isn't, because this is really the nuance of these things at the top. You're hinging open kind of this way, but if you don't get it, you can't just go get Gatorade.
Well,
you have to protect the quarterback
where
and really
Zeke is
keep
at,
your
though.
body between the defender and the ball.
Man, you gotta understand,
You
you
certainly
got
can't
pressure
let
right in his
them
face.
run the route for you.
But
Really
he already
better.
knew he was there, Law.
That's
I'm gonna say
set
something
his
just
mind
real quick.
to. He set his mind to, I'm going to Gallup, period. And that's what I said. It was one of his issues to me, is when he sets his mind to where he's going with the ball, he will stay with it regardless, and that's how some of those interceptions have happened as well. One of those was happened against Tennessee. The Titans.
Is that a throw with anticipation, Big
Right.
James?
Because
Is that
that's what this offense
You can't
calls
have it
for.
both ways. That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
can't- If it's an anticipation.
Okay.
Because that's what the offense asking him to do. That's why I'm saying this offense. That's why I say the best Dak was the Dak in 2016, 17, 18. That was like, when y'all win, then I throw it. This offense says you got to throw it in hopes that they're in the right position, and I'm going to trust that you're going to be in the right position. So you have to be aggressive in this offense, and it messed up our quarterback. That's what I'm saying, and agreeing with you for the most part, Big, that we need to divorce Kellen Moore from Dak. We need to divorce that.
I agree with you on that point, but I still feel like he needs to step up. And that was a game we should have won, boss. And that was a game that I wanted from him. Okay? Say what you want. That was a game I wanted.
And I'm gonna break down something.
That defense played crazy. That defense did what it was supposed to do in every facet. They only got that one touchdown because of the penalty on Dono with the hold on Kittle, right? So they really should have had another field goal. They shouldn't even got in the end zone. We had opportunities even after Kelvin Joseph. Yes, it was goofy play calling. Even when after Tony Pollard got hurt and I seen Law's video, I was already saying that 2nd and 2, you going spread. I get that. But you still could have ran. Right. You didn't have to throw that ball. Yeah. That man was sitting on that route. He was sitting on that route. You didn't have to go there. Regardless of you and CD Lamb had miscommunication, he was sitting on that route. You had an option to run on that. It's 1 minute and 43 seconds left. You as a quarterback, regardless if that play call is bad, have to protect that ball. Am I not correct?
I mean, I
You're correct.
want him.
You're
I
correct.
want him to
Let me
protect
Yes
the
or
ball.
no? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course
Yes
I
or
want you
no,
to protect
boss?
the ball. But see, this is the other part. OC, what did Jerry Jones tell Dak before Tampa?
I don't care what Jerry Jones
No,
said.
just listen. No,
He
this
talk
go to
about the
this
game,
go to
boss,
my
and
point.
You a
This
football
go to my
player,
point.
boss.
This is my
I know
point.
you.
If they coaching
Okay.
you to be aggressive,
No.
they
let me answer your question. Let me answer your question,
Yeah.
boss. Let me answer your question. I'm gonna answer your question, and then I'm gonna give some more feedback, just real quick. So Jerry Jones, 103.5 the fan, 103.5 the fan, I believe. Yeah, said that
105.
he is actually 105. Thank you. I said 103. Thank you, Law. 105.3. He said be aggressive. He said, well, did you say something to Dak? And he said, yeah, I'm not saying I had anything to do with him running the ball, but I told him to be aggressive, right? And so Dak Prescott is going to be aggressive, trying to please his owner. But you are correct, and I agree with you, Big, in the fact that those hitches, and I know this, I coach offense, in several little teams here, right? Hitch, 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3 release. It's a 1, 2, 3 release. When he looks off too long, so the ball comes out late because early that route is open. Now, it is Michael Gallup's fault too, because if Michael Gallup is retracing the steps, he's coming back, he at least contests the interception. And then maybe it's a pass breakup or he breaks up an interception rather than him just stopping his feet and looking silly. But that ball came out late. And if you're going to run this offense, right, and this happened on several of Dak's interceptions, by the way, into coverage, if you go back and look at it, the ball was late. It was a timing and it was a placement issue. So I'm not excusing Dak, right? I am saying that he was put into a situation where he has to hit this route at the exact moment that he has to let go of his football. But at the same time, the play could have been different. His check could have been different. He could have dumped it off because Ezekiel Elliott at least had a chance to run and try to get the first down.
All right, so let me say this though. I like the video that Boss just played. I don't even know who that guy is, never saw his film. So how come I come up with the exact same assessment of what Gallup did, right? And I thought that if you're going to have your quarterback being aggressive and your wide receiver not aggressively coming back to the ball, ain't that's kind of like counterproductive? Like there's not the same message out there being told. There should have been a wide receiver coach spitting upon the face of Michael Gallup on that play. So at some point, something got to be true. As someone, look, I never met the dude. I never heard his analysis before, but we came down to the same conclusion. How is that possible, Boss? I mean, Boss and Big Game James and the OC. How did I come up with the same conclusion?
How is it possible that? Okay, so tell me about the second interception. How is that possible?
Hold on.
What
There
happened
should be somebody. There should be somebody that have a film analysis of the fact that Dak Prescott. Can you find somebody that had the film analysis on Dak Prescott with the wrong read on that one? So we have the contrast.
I got it. I got the
sure
analysis on
So
that.
Trey Fargo,
I mean, have me be quiet because I don't believe that. Because you know what, you shouldn't have threw it.
All right. So
yeah, and Big,
that doesn't take my love. That doesn't take my love away from Dak or anything. That doesn't say I don't love him as a quarterback, whatever. You shouldn't have threw them throws, and you shouldn't have threw that second one. And I just explained it to you, Law, and you didn't explain it back to me. 1 minute and 43 seconds left, and it's 2nd down and 2. And even if your coordinator set you out there with a goofy play call, empty set, why would you throw that ball when that cornerback was sitting on that route? Aren't you still supposed to protect the ball? Yes or no?
You're supposed to protect the ball.
Big, answer this question. Big, answer this question real quick. Big, real quick. So Big, this is a $5 super chat that we got, but I want you to answer this question. This is from 85 GT. He said he don't agree with you. He said it seems like that you stuck on blaming Dak.
No, but hold on. Let me address that, OC.
Yeah.
This is, I know all these dudes personally. Whenever you see us debate, it's no hate in my ball heart. It's no bopper in my ball heart. It's no bopper in my. We just seeing it different, and we just trying to come together with the facts. This is not easy to break down. You know what I'm saying? I respect every one of these dudes, and I'm gonna be real. Y'all need to respect them too. Just listen, because Big think different don't mean that he anti-Dak. Because I don't agree with Big don't mean I'm bopping Dak. We just trying to come to the facts. That's it. Because I want everybody to understand the spirit of this whole panel. We love the Cowboys first. We disagree sometimes, but that's first. So I really want people to stop questioning my brother's character. I mean that. And mine. Just chill out on that. You know what I'm saying? We just see this different.
Say we blame it.
Yeah, we just see this different. That's it.
Here's the thing though. If we're all playing sports, OC, Law, Boss, we're all playing the game. We've all played, right?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody tries to tell me on sending stuff into you trying to blame Dak. Well, you know what? If you're playing the game and you're the guy and you knew better not to do that, yeah, that blame is going to go on you. I'm sorry. Pull your pants up. You're the quarterback. Sorry. Okay, so if you don't like hearing that, sorry, because y'all was blaming CeeDee Lamb when he drops passes. Y'all was blaming Ezekiel Elliott when he had fumbles.
Yeah. And to your point, Big.
So I don't want to hear when everybody else gets a blame, how come he can't?
Yeah.
He's going to with me.
Yeah.
And you know what? He got up on the podium and accepted all the blame. To your point. He accepted all the blame and said, hey, man, first thing he said is, hey, I got to play
get better. And that's why I said, I don't mean to cut you off, OC. I apologize about that. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You good, bro.
But get rid of Kellen Moore then, because I feel like, you know what? If you keep Kellen Moore, it's going to be the same thing, and I ain't getting excited about next year because ain't nothing going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And before y'all say anything, I see people in the comments.
So we just going to keep on. But I'm going to say one more thing, though. Right. If that's the case, if you got Kellen Moore still here, when is that going to rise above that, though?
Right.
When's it going to rise above that, though?
It's going to be a hard, tall task, baby.
I don't give a hell. Then rise above it. Then start saying something to rise above it, because I don't want to hear no more of these excuses, dog. I'm done with them. I'm done with the excuses.
No, you
got
to rise above it.
I ain't trying to hear nothing.
You see, because
you got to rise above it, and you better be a better quarterback. And I'm not saying it's all on him because he needs more weapons. I get that. All quarterbacks, I get that. I get that. Trust me, I do. But to me personally, I love you. I've been had your back, and I still do. But you need to get better. To me, that was your moment, even in what was bad, and you had opportunities to win that. In my opinion. I agree.
Let's look at
this. We should be playing the Philadelphia Eagles right now.
Well, let me say this too, though. And if you got that Kurt Warner film analysis, I'm gonna tell you, it's a different world.
I don't care about Kurt Warner right now, Law.
Hold on. I know. But people were saying that.
I don't give a hell about no Kurt Warner right now.
Hold on, Big. Hold on, Big. Pause, Big.
This is what I want. This is actual facts.
You know I love you, Law, but I don't give a hell about Kurt Warner or Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes. I'm not talking about none of them or that tonight. I'm talking about Dak Prescott, and that's it.
Prescott.
Okay,
Big.
All right, my bad. I'm sorry.
You my dog, boy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm gonna say here,
let
me say here. Kurt Warner went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Kurt Warner was throwing it to Larry Fitz and Antoine Bolden. You know what I'm saying? And then when he went in 1999, he had Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. Now let me ask y'all that's in the chat. Do you think Isaac Bruce is going to let up on his route on that play? Do you think Torrey Holt is going to let up on his route on that play? Case is closed.
Oh,
He never made it to the Super Bowl. He never made it to the Super Bowl with a Noah Brown and a Michael Gallup. Now, hush up, Kurt Warner. Hush up. Hush your mouth.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, other teams ain't met it with a Trent Dilfer either. And a Brad Johnson. And a Stan Humphries.
And what kind of defense they had? What kind of defense did
we have?
Ray Lewis, we go toe for toe.
What kind of defense did we have? What defense did we have against San Francisco?
Ravens over here.
Yeah, no, we shut them down. So don't give me that talk. Don't give me that talk. Don't give me none of that talk. Our defense did what it was supposed to do. You bringing up them old defenses. I seen all them defenses. Our defense played like an 85 Bears Sunday. Our quarterback didn't.
So that big play on Kittles. That was the 85
I don't give a hell. You know it. Stop
That
it.
ain't the 85. There wasn't no 85 bears out there on Sunday. Come on,
I
man.
know it was, but you know what? The way that defense
Come on,
played
rookie
against
quarterback.
Sunday, it did everything it was supposed to do. Period.
85 bears would have caught that interception. It bounced through the hand of
Period.
Trayvon Diggs.
Our quarterback, and did you see? And I'm not hating. Please understand, I love him. I don't know why y'all try to think I don't, but I'll do this with anybody. I don't care who you are. You
That's
should
right.
do it to me. You don't
That's
care
right.
who I am.
Right.
You don't give a hell who I am. You can do it to me. I don't give a hell. I would take the blame if I mess up. I don't have a problem owning it. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get better. But I'm gonna tell you this, Law. In that last drive when we got the ball and we were about to try to score, he almost threw another would-be interception. It went through the dude's hands. What was that?
Well,
Was that
kinda like what Kurt
anticipation?
Warner did when he threw the pick six. Kind of like what Kurt Warner did when he threw the pick six.
Keep giving
Come
the
on now,
excuses,
baby.
big dog. I love you, but all you doing is giving excuses.
Yeah, and on that first interception, let's be clear. I think both things can be true. Let's be clear on that. It can be true that Gallup sold him out, and it's true that Dak was late.
Torrey Holt wouldn't have never
It's
did
both.
it. That's true.
That's what I just
Bruce
said.
would never did it.
That's
true.
exactly
Both.
what I
That's
just said.
saying.
Both.
And it's ball placement, boss, because that ball should have been toward the sideline, not inside anyway. Shouldn't have been that inside anyway.
I don't know
So
about
anyway,
that.
that's another thing.
I don't know about that. See
it should have. Go ahead.
To me, especially based on the analysis, it depends on how they coach to do
How
it.
he came out of the sim.
Yeah.
How he was gonna come out of that.
And the
sim. I
way
get
he
you.
came
I get
out,
what you're saying with that.
you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like,
It's hard to tell because
It's hard
he didn't
to
come
tell.
back on either.
yeah,
It's hard to tell. I got it.
because both can be true. Dak could have threw a bad ball, and Gallup could have ran a bad route. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
So,
True that.
So, and
But that's my whole argument right there, is that we didn't play a sound football game. My whole argument is that Dak didn't play a sound football game. See, people leaving out the fact when I said it was 2nd and 2, there's no way possible he should have thrown that ball. He should have run that ball to get those 2 yards.
let's look
A
at
true
that one.
leader
Let's
of
look
the
at
team would
let's look at the
understand
2nd and
that
2.
aspect of it.
Here's
2nd and 2 spreading out empty.
Here's
I'm
the
saying
2nd and
that.
2.
But see, what
Let's
people,
look at
what people
let's look
saying
at
in the
that play.
chat is that they
And
saying
it
that
cost
Law
us
is
because
not
guess
giving
what?
all.
Go ahead,
What
Law.
people are saying in the
Okay.
chat
My
is
bad.
that
My bad,
Law
Law.
is providing excuses for Dak Prescott, and that's not even the fact of the matter. I'm not providing excuses. He got to run that for that first down. He had no reason of
Get him,
throwing
Law.
that ball inside. He had
Get
no
him, Law.
reason, even though it was an option route.
Yeah. So let's talk about the 2nd interception. Here we go.
Love it.
I agree with you, Law, on that one, man, because he had space to
This
run
is
on
a
that.
tough
I seen
one.
this play.
Hold on.
84
on.
seconds
Hold on.
left. You know, at least a 3-point play here. I have a few things.
Run.
To me, this is glance, wheel, jukey, or choicey. You know, I think, if I'm being honest,
dude.
Dak is probably a little late over the ball. Whether he thinks he's got the glance wheel to one side or the other, I want to see the ball get out. Now, it looks like he's kind of eyes are all over the place. And so when I say eyes are all over the place, watch his helmet stripe. Only his helmet stripe. Okay, it looks like he's almost looking left. Now looking right. Now back left, sort of. And Land comes out of it. Okay, so first of all, to me, the eyes are all over the place. The next thing, and we'll see it from the wide here, but whatever you want to call this route, I'm most often used to calling it a juke or a choice. You come in here, you put on a move, and usually you can go either this way or back out. Sometimes teams will only let you do one or the other, but for me here, now this dude is a dude, okay? No doubt about that. We got to acknowledge that. It looks like Dak is anticipating this little step back and then back this way. And I think if that's there, this is a nice hit. It looks like they're not quite on the same page. So it's almost kind of like, oh, I'm expecting you to do this, but really you come out of it this way. And now I'm a little late and everything's kind of sideways because the footwork here just feels off. And so it just feels late. Like Cross's technique right there. But if he was anticipating it going out to the left, I think it's there. You got to put it on him right there. But you can see Dak's,
right now.
Look at Dak's feet. The hash makes it really easy. He's lined up down the middle. He's not lined up to work the choice or juke, coming back out the other way. He's super toesy.
And he feels the pressure. And he feels the pressure.
Bad things happen.
And
that's the truth.
Man, just
and he felt that pressure. And once he felt that pressure, and his footwork was always bad, he throws those interceptions. This is time and time again. You should not be doing that. And here's the thing. You cannot be making those type of mistakes and putting your team in those type of positions because they come back down to score it. I don't care if it was 3 points. They scored 3 points. It's 9-6. Now they have a little momentum in their head. Those are the type of things you cannot do. It don't no matter what anybody tells me. You cannot do that. They had Brock Purdy. He did not do those things. And I don't like no Brock Purdy, and he ain't nothing to me. But guess what? He did not make any mistakes.
Did they give him option routes to throw?
No.
Did they give him option routes to throw?
No.
Yes or no?
That last play, Law, even when CeeDee Lamb did that juke, you still had no reason. You didn't see that cornerback sitting right there?
Yes.
They were damn near doubling him in the slot.
This is the
Right.
issue that I see.
And three things before you go, Boss Cowboy. Just real quick. Real quick. 3 things. If you look at this, how he slow-mode the play, right? And you put this play up, Boss. CeeDee Lamb actually sat in that zone before he reversed out. He sat there for a split second, and Dak did not release the ball. Then he began to reverse out toward the extra man in the zone, which, for whatever reason, Dak Prescott didn't identify him. And that's what I mean, not being aware of other defenders in zone coverage. Because actually, he sat right down in front of Fred Warner. So if he wanted to drill a ball in there, that would have been a time to drill the ball in. 1. 2, once he didn't throw that ball, CD saw that ball didn't come. He began to reverse out, right, and break it off the other way. Number 3, there was a cavernous gap between the center and the right guard that Dak could have easily ran and got a first down. And then here's the big thing, and I want to highlight this in fair balance, that why in the world are we throwing it on 2nd and 2? We could have tried to run this football as well. And that's on the OC. Go ahead.
I get that, and I said that. You should have ran the ball. You had Tony Pollard just go out. You could have 2 yards, Ezekiel Elliott live another day, restart. I said that. I said this was on the OC. I just said that even before we ran this. I said, even if your OC calls a bad call, I said that, you cannot do that. Those things cost us. And those little mistakes, really big mistakes for real. I'm telling y'all, I'm not hating, but that was our time. I'm for real. That was our time.
And
his makeup time, in my opinion.
I'm saying, Big Game James,
it was my.
right
was it not? Was it not? Was it not law? Yes or no? Answer that.
You're right. You're right. But what I'm saying is Dak Prescott should have just ran it. It's right there. Everybody, he could just run. He can lean forward and get the 2 yards. So Dak, for the idiots in the chat, I'm telling Dak should have ran the M&F ball right there. I'm not giving Dak Prescott his due.
I love my law. I love law.
Run the ball right there. That's what I'm saying. Y'all keep saying, Law keep giving Dak excuses. Y'all ain't listening to what the I'm saying.
All Dak haters say that, bro. Everybody that hate Dak says that. That's what they always say, Law. Don't let them get to you, man. That's what they do, bro.
Run the ball right
People
there.
that hate Dak say that.
Whenever they was talking all that trash to me too, Law.
Boy, y'all got Bobo Law hot. All right, y'all got to give me a chance to say what I think I see.
He said my effing. I love you, Law.
All right,
run the effing ball.
All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. This is what I definitely believe I see. Because what he was saying on QB School, a former NFL quarterback, he was saying, look at how Dak hips was facing the middle. He was likely anticipating him to go to the middle. But then he went outside and then he threw the ball. The OC was saying that he should have threw the ball soon as he hit his spot.
Yeah.
This is all identified. Listen. This is all identifying more to me. One thing, this system is stupid. Because notice he said his head looked like it was everywhere. How many times have y'all saw screenshots of 4 people stopping at the same time that Dak's supposed to see one of them and throw it with anticipation? That is dumb. That's why Kurt Warner said himself, this is dumb that all these guys stopped at the same time, because now Dak can't even go through a progression. Didn't Kurt say that? You see what I'm saying? So yes, so Dak, yes. Don't throw the ball. But then you also ask, throw with anticipation. Then you also ask, see 4 people stopping at the same time. Pick the one that wins. But they all stopped at the same time.
Same time.
Come on, bro.
Like I said.
To me, it's saying get rid of Kellen.
That's fine. I said that. I'm cool with that. Make a divorce. I made the video once again. A divorce needs to happen ASAP because we need to see Dak in something else, something that caters to his strengths. But this is all I'm going to say. 2 things.
Yeah.
If Kellen Moore is still here, then Dak, you need to step up, rise above, talk, say something, and make some noise or something if you don't feel it's really comfortable to you.
Right.
You're going to have to do it. If you're going to have to do it.
You're going to have to.
Second, you're going to have to. Well, you know what? Then I'm sorry. Dak, I got to question some things. You need to step the hell up because it would be in my character. You're not going to sit there if I don't feel good about something and I'm the quarterback to Cowboys. Guess what? I have a no trade clause in my contract. I got a good contract for me. So you're not going to be coming at me and telling me nothing. That's why he made that contract. So if he made that contract, start talking to them like that and stop being the good old boy then.
Yep. Say, man, y'all clap it up for Big. Clap it up. Clap it up.
Salute.
Give that boy a hand. And that's my issue with Dak right there.
Right.
Is Dak speaking up? That's my issue. Because
he's not.
Because I always said, you go down with Kellen, bro. If you out there being a company man, singing the company, falling on the sword for them, what did they put on their website about you, though, Dak?
Yo,
did they say about the quarter? Did they fall on? Did they fall on the sword for you, Dak?
Nope.
See, this is real homie talk right here.
But here's the thing, though, boss. I told you this, and you ain't agree with me when I told you Stephen Jones never believed in signing him. You said, no, I believe. No, he didn't.
He did.
Yeah.
And this is going to add more fuel to the fire when they said Jerry was going through the building. Is Dak our guy? This Dak our guy? This is going to add more fuel to the fire for them saying, we don't.
Oh, man,
you don't think they're talking?
And let's say this right quick though.
I mean, I'm just.
Boss.
No.
No. You're right. You 1,000% right because
hey, y'all,
me and Boss
hold on
was
real
somewhere.
quick.
I'm speaking cold.
Hold on.
We were somewhere.
Give me 1 second.
The exact same. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Hey y'all, I am missing y'all super chats. I do apologize about that. I apologize. I'm just keeping up with this debate and trying to read y'all at the same time. I apologize for missing y'all super chats.
And I'm gonna try to catch you up, boss.
But go ahead, Law.
Done, okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Law.
I'm speaking cold though, boss. We were somewhere and we heard the exact same thing that Big Game James just said, and he wasn't even with us. And we talked to somebody that's real close to the Prescotts about that.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It's because I was thinking about that today, Law, when you were talking about that conversation we had with that person close to the Prescotts.
Yeah.
People have no idea the sacrifices Dak also made. The fact that Dak doesn't even socialize with the Joneses on invite. He keeps a safe distance with the Joneses, y'all. Just so he can make sure, you know what I'm saying, that he not viewed like some people viewed Romo. Like it was the elite guys and then it was the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's but in my opinion, Big, you got bars. You know your bars. Have you ever seen them do something and you said to yourself, that's not them? Just watching them grow up.
But I would tell them.
Right. But see, hear me out on that.
But I would tell them.
I know. Hear me out on that. This is why I said that. This is why I asked that question. Because I got sons. And when you see them changing and you know they doing what they ain't been doing, you go first say, okay, what caused that? So when I look at that career and I say, man, you've been protecting the football your whole career. Why are we doing this now? Is it you? Is it you? Or is it others telling you to do that? Because whoever it is, they need to go. If it's you, you need to stop. Go back to the Dak that threw it to them boys when they was open. Get rid of this Dak that's trying to throw with anticipation. Because that is causing problems. That's my honest to God opinion on it.
Yeah, and I think that, with Dak Prescott, he's torn between relationship and the responsibility of the team. Because I think really him and Kellen Moore have a really good relationship. And for things to change, he's going to have to break the friendship. Yep. And this is where he needs a real good taste of straight business by the OC. At the end of the day, Kellen Moore is coaching for his family in his life. And as soon as he gets the right head coaching opportunity and they throw a bag at him, he's out of here. So don't ever forget that if you're Dak Prescott. And if you're Dak Prescott, and it's unfortunate you're judged on a different measuring stick than a lot of quarterbacks, even though overall in your career you played pretty well. You played pretty good ball. But, man, they're going to judge you and they're going to blame you for everything. And so if you are a person that is going to be blamed for everything, then be the person that can take responsibility for everything. You see, if Tom Brady played bad, man, and threw picks and they lost a Super Bowl, which they lost 1 or 2, man, he took the blame for everything. They thought that Tom Brady was falling off. He came back the next year, won a Super Bowl. When they lose games in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers takes the blame. Aaron Rodgers, he's hurt. He's getting old. Right? If Pat Mahomes gets a 2-game losing streak, Pat Mahomes falling off. So it's a whole situation and scenario to where you have to begin to own the team. And not own it like Jerry Jones.
What, LC?
But own.
Let me.
Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you
off.
No,
I was just gonna say he has to own the situation and really take reins aggressively of how this offense goes. And Dak has not done that yet. And that's his number one weakness.
That's the number one.
Because it doesn't matter what happens, you go get blamed for it.
Yep.
Go ahead, Big.
Okay, so here's my thing. What you just said. The guys you just named, number one, they talk. They say stuff. They don't just sit there and be quiet.
Yep.
Okay. You know that about them. So they're aggressive in that aspect. Maybe he might not be aggressive either, because does he really believe his ability to play in this offense? I don't know, because here's my thing. If you're a quarterback and you know you're good, it don't matter. Ain't nobody telling me nothing. If I know I can do it anywhere, anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like, does he have that confidence? We don't know.
Yeah. Good point.
We don't know.
Good point.
Because he's been through a lot too, and I'm not giving him no excuses, but I'm talking real right here. He's been through a lot. We don't know if he really got that confidence. And he got a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think
that's what I'm saying. And that pressure, I feel, has gotten to him, and it got to him in the game, because even on that last interception we just showed, right? He had time in that pocket, but as soon as he felt pressure, he threw it. When he had a clean enough pocket, he had enough time to look to the right, to the middle, to the left. And he had an opportunity to run. When he felt pressure, he threw that ball. And like I said, in his scouting reports and things of that nature about him, when he feels pressure, he throws off, his footwork gets bad, and he throws bad passes. So my thing is, when he says pressure busts pipes and, pressure is a privilege, you got to be careful saying those type of things. Listen, I'm serious. You got to be careful saying those type of things, and then that pressure comes and you don't get through it. Because people are going to come at you and doubt you.
I think that last year, Big, you said that, Dak Prescott has peaked. He has hit his ceiling. Is that still the truth right there?
I have said that. I'm not going away from that until he changes my mind. Yes, I'm not going. And that's why I need to see him with a different coordinator. What? Go ahead. My bad.
No. You spitting truth right here. Then we need to see Dak Prescott, because there's sometimes a person can only take you so far. And with Kellen Moore, there was a cap to that anyhow. This is peer-to-peer coaching. Dak Prescott have never got the kind of caliber of coach that we've seen out of Jimmy Johnson. You was around that time frame when Jimmy Johnson would spit upon Troy for making his mistakes. He would spit upon Troy for getting late with his reads. I don't see this type of rough coaching for Dak Prescott. I think that
whose fault is that?
What we can see, I think it's fault from Jerry. Because remember, Troy Aikman, Jimmy Johnson, I hate going all the way back to the 90s. It's many years ago, over 30 years ago, but it's still prevalent to this day. Jimmy said that he was about to bench Troy Aikman. And before he could walk back to the locker room, Jerry Jones had a press conference, said, although my starting quarterback played bad, he will be the starter. But people forgot all about that, right? So now I'm looking at it right now, that when Mike McCarthy literally said at the start of the season, I can't stand option routes. I don't like it. I don't like it. The very next week, somebody got to Big Mike and said, you know what, you got to retort. You got to take that away. You got to recant that, because this is what my son, my grandson likes. He like option routes. He loved calling those plays. I don't think that there's a situation where Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott spit upon each other and disagree about something. I think that is more peer-to-peer, and I truly believe that Kellen Moore got more control of this team than Mike McCarthy on the offensive side of the court.
Oh, my word.
Well, if that's the case, then Dallas ain't never going to a Super Bowl then, right?
Yep.
Because if your coach can't usurp, that's never going to change because Jerry's here. Okay, so let's talk real. Don't tell me that stuff. I'm gonna let you say it, OC. I just want to get this off my chest because I can't be on here that much longer. But I don't want to hear about that, because Jerry ain't going nowhere until he dies. So he is going to be headstrong on everything. So if you're telling me that he's usurping Mike McCarthy again, then there ain't no point in liking this. You're just going to be liking this. It's going to have wins, just like I said. You're going to have a bunch of wins. You're going to win some games. You might win a few big games, but you're never going to win the big game. That's what you're telling me, Law?
Well, I'm telling you exactly.
That's how I'm asking
Big Game James, you're the king of your house. And if you tell your son you don't like them to do a certain thing, and they continue to do something that you said you don't like, who is more in control, your son or you?
Your son.
You see what I'm saying?
Your son.
Your son at this point, right?
Yep.
If you continue to see it, then all of a sudden, what you said ultimately, what you didn't like, and now you see it all over everywhere, then your son won that argument over you.
That's right.
But I already said that you got to get the last bit of the... See, but here's the point. We're talking about this, but if he don't go nowhere, then what? That's what I want to ask y'all. That's what I'm asking all three of y'all right now. Don't let me finish this question. If they don't get rid of Kellen Moore and Dak is in this offense again, I need some answers. What's going to happen? Because you're basically telling me it's going to be failure again next year, right?
I think that it will be marginal. This is what I'm going to say, though. Hold on. Big Game James. I said this to one of my callers before. Are we a better team than what we were last year?
Yes, we should have won. Why didn't we?
Right. We won a playoff game. And then the year before that, we were the better team. So what I'm saying is that, 12-5 back-to-back years, and then now this year.
No, last year it's against San Francisco. You really thought we were going to beat San Francisco last year?
I did.
It took 14 penalties for them to beat us.
I didn't.
You probably didn't feel that we were capable of winning, but that game was still close.
No, I knew we were capable of winning. I knew we weren't winning. I said I knew we were capable of winning, but I knew we were going to win Sunday, and we should have. Period.
We should have. Now, I agree with you, Big Game James. We should have won Sunday. But do you think with proper coaching and better situations, do we win?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. If we had an OC that matched what was happening on that defense, we win.
We'll see. Get another OC because I want to see it. Because if it don't happen with another OC, just like I said, this boss, that if you got rid of a Mike McCarthy and you brought a Sean Payton in and Sean Payton couldn't do it, then you're going to sit there and tell me there's dysfunction up front and you ain't never winning. That's what I said. So this is what I'm saying with Dak Prescott. From me, not from anybody else, from me. If you get a different offensive coordinator that caters to you, you better not have no excuses and you better win those big games.
I said that's straight up. Hey, real quick, OC, I know you got something, but I just want to say something just real quick. To me, I want y'all to hear me out. I don't care if Dak would have played amazing. I don't care if Dak had a perfect passing rating and threw 8 touchdowns versus San Fran. We could have blew out San Fran by 80, and I still would have said fire Kellen Moore.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. The main reason why I definitely say we should fire Kellen Moore is for what Law said. That's the main reason. They are on 2 different pages. Like, how many times and how does it look for your head coach to say, I've never been a fan of option routes at all, but yet we the most aggressive team in the NFL at option routes? That is 2 different leaders on 2 different pages. For that alone, you got to get rid of Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy came out and said, I don't see us changing our identity. He said, I see us sticking with the winning formula of running the ball. How many times did Kellen Moore come out throwing and then would have to come back and overrun the ball to try to fit his balanced quota? It's too much maneuvering and fixing Kellen Moore. It's too much tweaking. It's almost like you got 2 people that don't fit. You got an alpha guy with an alpha female. They don't fit. Y'all got to break up. You got to break up. You need an alpha with a beta. Either she got to be the alpha and you the beta, or you got to be the beta and you got to have the opposite. You see, right now you got 2 people on 2 different pages. I'm shocked that we won a playoff game with this dysfunction. I'm shocked we went 12-5 with this dysfunction. I don't care if Dak scored 80 points versus San Fran. It was eventually going to likely blow up, to Big Game James' point. You can't have this level of dysfunction and win the big game. I don't see it happening. Nope.
In the biggest stage, yeah. I mean, I got no rebuttal to that.
Well, that's what I've been saying, but everybody says I'm a negative person. When I said there's no way that you come in the league and win 3 Super Bowls off the rip, and then you go 25 to 27 years without a championship, and all of a sudden you start winning again. That's not me being hating and me being negative. That's being real. And here's the thing. I'm not even trying to say curse. Yeah, I am going to try to say curse. I don't care what you think. If you want to say I'm being spooky or whatever, I don't give a hell, okay? Because you have to be cursed, because you had so many sins since that period of time. It just came up about the stuff off the off field with the illegitimate child. There was stuff going on with the dude that was the PR. He had to hush and be quiet because of the stuff with the cheerleaders. All kind of stuff has been going on, right? So where am I to believe? And you still do that same attitude with Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson's not a perfect person, but you still keep holding that grudge and you keep holding those things. So my thinking is you're going to get really good teams every year. Every year you're going to get teams good, and then guess what? It's going to be worse. It's not going to kill you if your teams suck. It's going to kill you if your teams are good and they come there and then they fail every time. And that might just be happening to you, dog, before you go, because that might be karma coming back to you. Every year you're going to have a good team, but you're going to fail. And I'm sorry to say that to you people. And if you don't like it, I don't give one hell about it, period. And I'm not trying to be no hard ass or nothing. It's just what I feel in my heart.
And Big, you brought up some things that really concern me the most. And I even brought this up off camera to Boss Cowboy, that, this is the first game that I saw Dak crack. Like, I could literally see him emotionally cracking underneath that pressure. Like, where the game looked too big for him. the lights got too bright, and that was the most concerning thing. And Boss Cowboy mentions that, I mean, it was because of the overwhelming amount of reads in the offense. But I look back at it again, and I see the pressure to perform. And I see a lot of the interceptions, him forcing that ball and him, trying to make a play and feeling the pressure because I missed this time, I was hurt, man, to try to earn the money, to try to be worth the money, right? And to try to prove I'm worth it and to try to make the big play versus just playing ball. And I see you, Richard Coleman, with the $4.99 super chat. Hey, Big, and I'm going to shoot this to you real quick, Big, before I continue. Would you be okay if Mike McCarthy called the plays? That was for you, Big.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would, because then I feel like he would be the coach and be in control. I see Andy Reid, and even though he's got Eric Bieniemy, I feel like Andy Reid has that sprinkle. Like, at any time, I can take this over and do this. If you messing up Eric Bieniemy, I'm gonna jump right in here because we ain't gonna fall off, because I know how to call plays. Because if I was a head coach and I called plays and I had an offensive coordinator below me and I was letting you do it, but if it was a big game and I saw you tripping, I'm taking those play calling, and I don't give a hell how you feel. We can go in the media, you can feel bad, but if we got that victory because I called them play calls and they were real and you were choking and getting scared, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna win it. So yeah, he's been there, he's done. I definitely would be cool with that. I want somebody to get some stones up in this organization, some nuts, like I told him. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. Somebody in this organization get some balls up in here. Either stand up to Jerry, something needs to happen, because I'm tired of seeing these things with good teams. There's always somebody choking, pressure, nobody wants to stand up, everybody wants to be the yes man. That is dysfunction. See, the winning masks the dysfunction. See, nobody talks about dysfunction when you're winning. Okay? Nobody ever talks about dysfunction when you're winning. Nobody ever talks about that. Get swept under the rug. Mask like everything is okay and mask it because you're winning. You're not talking about it. But see, as soon as you lose, that dysfunction and that evilness starts creeping right back up with me. It does. Because it ain't never went away. I just don't want to talk about it all the time because y'all gonna be like, that's all you talk about, big game. That's all you talk about, Jerry. But see, that's when I see these type of things, it reaffirms how I really feel and believe about it. So hey, that's just how I feel. You don't like it? Hey, that's your thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I love being a Cowboy. Big game, James.
Game changer.
Let's have some fun. Let's have a good time, man. Let's kick it.
Big game, James, so on point because guess who dodged? Guess who dodged interviews this week? Jerry Jones and his son.
Steve. Yep, facts.
So they talk all year long.
All year.
But we don't want them to talk. And now we want to hear them talk, big game, James. Like you said, now they got the baby nuts. Like, come on. Baby balls, baby balls. So what's going on?
He's just gonna lie to you. Why do you want to hear him? What are you waiting for? Lies? You're waiting for lies? Why are you just destroying yourself like that? There's no way. Face what music? He's just gonna lie to you. He's Jerry Jones. He's not gonna tell you the truth. Why do y'all want to sit there and listen to him lie to you?
The biggest signal to me, Big, to know if we serious or not, is the handling of Kellen Moore.
If he fires Kellen Moore, then I know he's serious.
Yeah. If he don't, womp.
And it's the same dysfunction. Yeah.
It's womp. I don't care what nobody say. No. If you hire Kellen Moore, see, most teams, most owners, after your defense played like that and your offense couldn't put up 20 points, the OC would have been fired Monday. It's really that simple. Because you would have fired the OC because you would have really been like, well, we can't fire Dak. We paid Dak. You know what I'm saying? You would have been like, bro, your offense.
It would have been like Brian Leftwich, huh?
Man.
Byron Leftwich.
It would have been like Brian Leftwich. Yep. He got fired the next day, didn't he? Didn't he get fired the next day?
How many points? 14, 13 points?
Yeah. You show up with a womp in the playoffs. Show up with the womp like we did with a team that's serious.
See, that's what I'm saying. And I'm getting ready to say this because I got to get off of here. But I'm going to say this, boss, on that. He's not going to do that because guess what? That will show them. See, they don't like being wrong. So they'll ride it out as long as they can. See, that's what they did with Jason Garrett. See, So, see, Kellen Moore was the second coming. See, they rolled it out with Jason Garrett, right? Because they didn't want to look wrong. And think about this right quick. Jason Garrett had 3 straight losing seasons. He had 1 winning season in 2014. He got rewarded a 5-year deal. You reward mediocre.
Yeah.
So basically, you reward him that money because you wanted to prove yourself right. Then you kept him because you saw hope with a team. We got to get to. Oh, we made the playoffs, so I'm gonna keep him there. And then we lose, and then you're like, but then we win it. See that I know Jerry. His mind is thinking like, well, I brought him in. We still winning. Yes, I'm telling you. And then Steven was on board. They don't like looking wrong. So when you bring in a Kellen Moore who under the same Garrett tree, didn't I just say? I'm not being rude or anything, y'all. Not trying to talk like that. But I'm just saying I made a video where I said you got to get rid of the Garrett, the Linehan, and the Kellen Moore lineage out of here. Yep. You have to get it all the way out of here. He's the last little bit of it, and they're holding on. Okay, they're holding on to that last little bit because they want to show you right. And as long as that offense is getting 30 points a game, and as long as 2 running backs are almost getting 1,000 yards, and as long as that is still happening, it's hard for him to believe that he will move on and say, Kellen Moore, when you just said it right there, boss, in that interview, your OC should be fired right after that. If you played in that game and your offense did nothing and your defense played like that, and you should be advancing to the championship game right now, I would be in fumes and I would be on fire, especially when they were already talking about him last year in the last playoff game. And then it comes back in this game, you should definitely be fired. But you don't want to be fired because then it would be like, we made a mistake.
Yep. Hey, before you go, OC, bro.
No,
OC real quick.
Go ahead.
Ain't it crazy?
No,
we had a 49, and then you got to get your final word before you go, if that's okay.
Okay.
We had a 49er content creator literally say this, OC, didn't it? That Dallas was more physical. Bro, I heard one of y'all call this D the 85 Bears on what they did Sunday. You supposed to win that game, bro. You supposed to win that game. Your defense played like that, bruh. And if it wouldn't have been for those penalties, they wouldn't even scored on that drive with Kittle.
It supposed to have been illegal receiver downfield, but that's a whole other story, man.
So anyway, but what's your final words, big man, before you get out of here? Then we'll give ours, and then your thoughts for next year. What's your thoughts, bro? Wait.
Oh, hell no!
Finish him.
It can't be one and done. we done dropped that one.
So I'm hitting all the buttons, bro, before you go, bro.
I need to go get that one. I like that little siren. I like that one.
You like that with this one? Which one? That one?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, bro.
I like that one. That was hard.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that. Yeah, keep that one in the arsenal. My final word is, and my thoughts. I mean, I just need to see different. Because if it's the same next year, I'm not even going to be excited. Like I kept even kill this year. I started getting, feeling better toward the end of the season, but I still wasn't drinking a Kool-Aid. I had it ready. As Boo thing, she had it ready. We had the container and everything. We should have been drinking Kool-Aid. I would have been drinking Kool-Aid. We should have. This is a frustrating loss because last year, like y'all said, you thought we were going to win. No, last year I thought we were going to lose. I didn't want to jump out there and say I just kept it to the vest. No, I didn't think we were going to win, and I saw it. After I saw the first 3 plays, I knew it was over. This game, I saw that defense. I'm a defensive guy, y'all. Boss, you already know I love defense, and the way that defense played, I was exaggerating with 85 Bears, but they were swarming. Tank Lawrence played the game of his life to me. Tank Lawrence played the game of his life to me. He played the game of his life to me. He was in that backfield. He would have had like 2 sacks if it wasn't for that penalty. He was in that backfield. He played the way I wanted him to play. And I said in this game, I called for him. I said he better play good in this game, and he did. and Michael Parsons, everybody. To me, that's just, it's hard for me to get over this. I'm going to get over this, but that defensive performance, the way that defense played, it was the way you're supposed to play.
Right.
You feel me? That defense in their house, you played the way you're supposed to play. And I'm sorry. My final word is, Dak, you got to get better. And I don't care if it's Kellen Moore there. If he's there next year, you better say something. You better rise above it. You better figure it out because this team is talented. We need to add more talent. They're not going to probably trade because, Cowboys don't do that. Hopefully Jalen Tolbert steps up next year. We're going to draft a rookie, so it's probably going to be behind the 8 ball. But this is what you have, though, dog. This is what I'm talking to Dak. If I can talk to Dak, this is what you have, though, Dak. This is where you're at for at least the next few years. This is where it's at. So you're going to have to say something if you still got that same guy there. And if another guy comes there, then you need to show. Yeah, you do need to prove because you're a top quarterback in the league. You play for the Dallas Cowboys. You do have to prove, just like I have to prove at work every day, just like Boss, Law, OC. We have to prove it every day. If we don't, people gonna hate. If we don't do our job after so many years, people are gonna say something to us, y'all. No matter what y'all say, they're gonna get rid of us too if we don't do our job. Yep. And this guy has to do his job. And he has to be the leader of his team. Not just we know he's the leader, but you can't tell me that defense wasn't frustrated at Dak. Because they said, we just played a game of our life, and this is what you gave me? Come on, dog. You are a guy. You're supposed to rise above. You don't think they said that to him? Come on, dog. We talking real here? We talking like robots? We talking real? They came to him and was like, hey, dog, you got to be better than that. We played our butts off for you. Got to be better than that. And it should be no hate. You should be like, yeah, you're right, dog. I don't want to hear that, but you're right. You feel me? Y'all would say it to me, right? Hey, you got to get better, dog. I love you, but you got to get better. Feel me? I would say it to y'all if y'all love me. So my end thing is you got to get better, Dak. You got to say something. You got to take that next level this year. This next year, you got to take that next level to me. Whether it's off the field talking, I don't want to hear all that cussing all the time. That don't impress me like Jason Garrett. I don't want to hear you cussing and right. No, I want you talking in that Jerry Jones. Hey, I'm doing this. We need to get this. This needs to happen. Do that for me, Dak, and I'll feel a little bit better. That's my final word.
Thank you, Big, and I also, bro, appreciate you greatly, dog. You such a OG. I appreciate you, man. No, I appreciate the way you bring it. You keep it so real. Even if we don't agree, I still respect you, bro, because I know you mean what you say. And I know it's hard to say some of the things that Big says because when he say what he say, he risking growth. I know the pressure of being honest and saying what you feel as a content creator, and it's pressure. That's why I rock with him thick and thin. That's why I ain't gonna let none of y'all, even if you disagree with him, y'all gonna still respect him. You gonna respect him in front of me. In front of me, you gonna respect him. So I first want to say that about my homie real quick. And my final words is I really do feel in my heart that we are OC away. I feel like Dak is very fixable. I think Dak, when he was throwing to receivers when they won the matchup, you was not getting turnovers. When Dak was managing games better. I think they messed up trying to overdo it for Kellen Moore's system, and they tried to force these cheaper receivers on Dak because that's the vision. And that's why they keep going back to it. That's why Playmaker talked about it, that they trying to get these so-called play callers to replace playmakers. That's what they trying to do. So I agree with Big 1,000,000% on this. If Kellen Moore stays, this is two things we got to do. Well, first thing I want to see from Dak, you got to speak up against this dude's system. If you don't want to throw interceptions, stop standing up there taking and falling on the sword. Speak out. What did Mike McCarthy do? He spoke out. At least he put his nuts out there and said, I don't like option routes. I don't. I've never been for it. Dak, what you gonna do? What you gonna just let this man have you out there doing that stuff? Now, people that was for you, not even for you no more. And if it's you, after they get rid of OC, then it's gonna be time for all of us to hold you accountable for your decision making and your play in big moments. But at this point, I believe in you. I think we need a new OC. I think we need to get rid of the dysfunction that started with Jerry and Steven. They set up an arranged marriage. An arranged marriage is when you got these two people don't know each other and they put together. That's what happened. Mike McCarthy, you getting ready to marry Kelly Moore, and y'all arranged this marriage. But like Law said, it's clear that Kelly Moore is running the marriage. If you want to fix this family, get order in the house, Jerry and Steven. And the only way you go do that is you gonna have to abandon your vision of having an OC that's gonna allow you to be cheap on paying players. You will have to decide, well, we will have to pay for weapons, because we go get an OC that believes in weapons, not in options, not in trying to feed Noah Browns and Dennis Houston's. We need an OC that's gonna come in here and say, no, we need to get our quarterback some weapons so that we can win this thing. And Dak, you need to protect the football. You're not gonna be in my offense throwing and hoping that the receiver in the right spot. That's what we need, and that's my final word.
Yeah, so listen, it's a lot of things that happened this year that were good. We did begin to establish a physical brand of football with running the football downhill with efficiency with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. And I think that that is a tremendous building block for us to come back to. We did make some good moves defensively, especially with Jonathan Hankins, especially with having Damone Clark. Hopefully we see some more Jabril Cox. A lot of talent on this defense that you have under contract, at least next year. So those are all the positive things that you saw. The things that we need to improve upon are really simple. It's the decision making and the scheme ability of this offense and being able to execute and make big plays in big games. Dak Prescott, my word to you is don't be accountable without taking control. See, Dak Prescott has done a great job of being accountable.
Can you say that again?
Don't be accountable without taking control. So that's what you need to do, Dak. This is the next progression for you, you know. And Dak, you know, and I'm being just real. Like if I was talking to Dak like a bro, like we friends, then man, look, I know you've been through a lot in your personal life. You had a lot of changes. You had a lot of bad, hard stuff happen. But hey, man, this is your season. This is your moment, and you got to seize it. You got to take advantage of it fully, because when you look back, don't put your life and destiny in the hand of another man and wonder why he dropped you off at the bus station at the last minute when you thought you was going downtown to the big show. So this is your offense. Step up. This is your offense. If you're going to take blame for all the picks and everybody's mistakes, take control and let it be ran the way that you see fit as the quarterback, the things that you like to do, the things that you can execute on, the things that you can have success doing. That's what this offense primarily needs to be doing, the things that make you look good and that can make the team be successful. All right, so we got to get that cleaned up in off season. The Joneses will be the Joneses. I'm not wasting a lot of time on that. They're going to make the decisions and the process that they normally do. The great thing is, and I said this at the end of last year, we draft well. So that's always a calling card. We draft well, and we normally are going to pick up some valuable free agents. And so, you know, for this thing to work, there's two things that's going to happen. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow about different offenses. I didn't get a chance to get into that today, but you're going to have to fully weaponize this, because I'm going to just give you one thing, and then I'm done. You cannot out-scheme talent. You have to have players that can beat people one-on-one. Football is a team sport, but you got to have pieces that can truly beat people one-on-one. And that's the bottom line, man. That's my final word. And salute, man. Shout out to you, Richard Coleman, with the $4.99 super chat. OC, that is the word for the night. Do not take the blame without taking control.
Ooh, that's
Thank
the
you, brother.
word.
Salute.
Ooh, boy, that was fire. Hey, and before you go, Lau, hey, man, I really appreciate all you brothers in the final word. Good year together, fellas. Good year together. I appreciate
you
that.
as well.
This fight was awesome with you boys. Yeah,
Right.
I love fighting with you boys. It was an honor, real talk, to do what we do together. And go ahead, Lau. My bad.
No. In honor,
Oh, there it is.
There it is,
I
Lau.
don't think across the board anyone had the opening draft show with the numbers we were able to do last year.
Yeah.
Like we did. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I know that this team, man, even though we might fight amongst each other, man, there's nothing but pure love for all of you guys that's on this panel.
Yep.
And I look back at this team, the Dallas Cowboys, winning 12 games where a lot of people didn't see us winning 12 games this year. And then also ultimately taking down the GOAT. Regardless of whether or not we won by 1 point or multiple points, it was still a victory for us. And shout out to the Cowboys. But that's not enough, man. We got to step it up. I like what you said, boss, about the arranged marriage. I recall when Bill Parcells was here. Coach Zim was an arranged marriage for him, right?
Yep.
He didn't like the philosophy on how he ran the defense, but he had to suck it up and do it. I recall when Wade Phillips, he had the arranged marriage with Jason Garrett, but ultimately Jason Garrett had that butter knife waiting for him, right? And then all together, we waited 9 years with Jason Garrett, and now we see Mike McCarthy, the arranged marriage with Kellen Moore.
Yep.
So how this gonna end, we need to find out. But I'm telling you guys, when you people say excuses, I get all of that. Here's the other counter approach to excuses. Everyone have a reason, but results are what matter. And at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys are sitting on these couches watching the playoffs and going to watch the Super Bowl. So I do know that what I said about Michael Gallup, the dog that get hit with the brick yelp, that means that he values my opinion. He values my thoughts. That's why he responded to what I said in that video. There's a little truth in there, whether or not it was 1,000% correct or 1,000% wrong. The dog that get hit yelps, so he's watching and he's listening. So I hope that the players that's watching and listening to what we're saying is all about love. We love this team. Every single player that's on that team, I believe all of us are older than every single player, meaning that we've been supporting and rooting this team before they was born. A third of the players, most of the players. So I come here to tell y'all right now, we want this team to win ultimately. We want this team to be successful. But we gonna give y'all constructive criticism in order to get there, and that is the bottom line. So whether or not they like it or hate it or indifference with it, we want this team to win. And Jerry Wayne Jones, do what's right about Jimmy Johnson. My boy over there, my guy, Big Game James, he's saying that there's something real about curses, man. And I don't know if you guys want to challenge curses. I don't see a lot of people going into a dark room with some mirrors saying Bloody Mary 5 times. I don't see a lot of people busting mirrors and running under ladders talking about, hey, man, I want to challenge the curses and see if they're real and see if all that stuff real. I don't see a lot of people doing that for fun. So do what's right about Jimmy Johnson. Maybe some good karma. Maybe some football guys will allow the aficionados to see Kittles, who's an illegal receiver down the field. Maybe the flag will come out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe my dog Trayvon Diggs will hold on to the ball. Maybe Dak Prescott will understand to run the ball and lean forward for 2 yards, right? And get that first down. Because we need everything and every good positive thing in the direction for these Cowboys to win. That's my thoughts of everything. I really appreciate y'all so much. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. And y'all already know what I got for y'all. You already know.
I got nothing but love for you, baby. Got nothing but love for you, baby.
Together now.
I got nothing but love for you, baby. Got nothing but love for you, baby.
Boy, y'all can sing. Boy, y'all
no off season. Let's go, man.
Let's go, baby.
Love y'all, man. Good year, fellas.
Love y'all too.
Kind of check or something.
Love to y'all.
In the feel letter, yeah.
Let me see some
I've
good
been
boys.
really in the feel, lot of rush, I love the feel lately. I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal lately. I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run
Yeah, man, let's get to work.
Count that too, count it up. Count it up.
We got a lot of work to do.
Run it up, run it up.
Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens.
Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We ain't stopping.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still say
Let's go. Let's pick it up.
take some losses when I play.
Still a good year. Let's fix these problems. Let's go at it again. Let's go.
Run it up, run it up. We locked in. You know, switching up.
You switch size off for the bag, and that's worth more
Yeah,
to me.
draft time.
I mix Nike with designer.
Free agent
I
time.
experiment. You just rock what's on the
All
shelf,
of
and
that.
I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's not.
Ooh, that beat go hard.
Can't trust a soul, I keep her him and call it too legit.
Work.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel lately. I just wanna run it up.
I do.